Hey, cheers. What's up, y'all? Cole, aka Trans Spirit here. I'm drinking some Christmas Eve tea. I want to give thanks to everyone who's been subscribing to my channel, liking videos, sending me messages, commenting below. It really means a lot to me. And yeah, I really can't thank you enough. I'm just going to keep making more videos. I hope that you'll watch them, and I hope we can talk more. I felt compelled to make this video. I've been meaning to say this for a while. When I decided to start making videos about what it's like being transgender and growing up transgender, I started doing some research on YouTube. This is almost 3 years ago. And I saw an abundance of videos specifically with trans guys, with people that have transitioned from biological females into males, F to M. This is what I can relate to, although this is videos for everybody. What I wanted to say was, when I saw all these videos, it made me so happy. It made me happy to see all the people that were coming out and talking about what it was like. What I noticed, however, was I didn't see many people, there's a few, but I didn't see many people talking about the trans umbrella, term, so to say, the transgender experience without having a sex change. And I think it's really important because as much as sex changes and reassignment surgery are awesome, awesome things, there are people that feel either the need to not transition or medically they can't, or for whatever reason. Maybe they're scared to do so. I've come across a lot of people that plan to do it, but right now they're scared to do it, which is understandable. It's a big change. I think it's great that it happens and it goes on, but I also think there's more to be said than just the videos following transitions. I'm so happy that they're there, and if they weren't there, I would say, hey, will somebody please post videos about their transitions? So I'm not trying to down on those videos at all. I just noticed that that's what's mainly out there. And being a transgender person who hadn't gone through that, I felt the need to talk more about it. Well, after figuring that out, I thought, okay, so what exactly am I going to talk about? And I went back and forth with the idea, and it's dawned on me that if I'm going to share anything about this, other than my experiences growing up, which are very similar to a lot of other people's where you could hear on any channel, but going on a deeper level, I realized that what I could share to possibly help somebody is the fact that there are some deep-rooted spiritual beliefs of mine that have helped me in this life. Spirituality, that's another umbrella term. It's not an actual religion or anything, It's nothing against any religions. I find a lot of truth in many different religions. That's kind of what spirituality is like, even though that's not like the exact definition of it, but it's kind of a mixture of beliefs, so to say. I found that through spiritual practices, and basically the big thing is going within, into my soul, I started realizing things on a deeper level than just my body. And that became so important to me because the whole body part seemed to be the most difficult thing for me. It all connected with my mental brain, though. It connected with my thoughts. It connected with how I felt, feelings, emotions, when I say mental brain. But there's ways to get through this. And if you're waiting to transition, say you haven't gotten to T yet, to testosterone, there's things that you can do for yourself by just practicing self-love. And that's how this video is for anyone. I would tell anyone, regardless of who or what you are, that self-love has been the biggest help for me in my life. When you're practicing a lot of the spirituality, it's all about shadow work, so they say. And shadow work it's facing these demons that you've dealt with of yourself, because really everything is a reflection of yourself. Even when somebody, say they upset you, you don't like the way they're acting, most of the time, you don't like the way they're acting because it reflects the way that you've acted before and you don't like it about yourself. It's most things in this life, they're just a mere reflection. I made the mistake when I was 20, I'm 34 now. Now, when I came out as transgender, I started to act as stereotypically male that I could. And I was warned not to do that, but I did it anyway. And that was one of my biggest mistakes. And when I say stereotypically male, it's more, I should say, stereotypically chauvinistic male, which was bizarre for me because I didn't grow up in a household like that. I'm very blessed to come from two loving parents who are still together. And my dad never acted like that. He took good care of my mom, and my mom took good care of him. And there was a good balance of gender going on in the household that I grew up in. So I guess I'd say it was succumbing to my own inner demons and my own insecurities. I felt like at the time that if I acted these things out, if I was more manly, so to say, that it would prove to everyone around me just how manly I really am. Years later, when I did go within and I started to learn more about myself, I realized that I'm not that manly and I'm not that feminine. I'm somewhere in between, a mixture of both. And I do feel more comfortable at this point saying gender fluid or non-binary. At the same time, I still consider myself transgender because I still identify as a male. No matter what anyone has to say about it, no matter if I have a sex change or not, that's my experience and that's how I feel about life. And that's the beautiful thing, is nobody can take that away from me. It's my life and it's my experience, just as with yours. Whatever you feel, that's your experience. People might come along and try to tell you elsewise, but who is anyone to judge someone else's experience? That's just, pretty much not a very evolved soul. People that are more spiritually mature, just good people. Good people don't judge you for how you identify. Now, I don't believe it's ever right to judge a person, even if they do the most unspeakable things and terrible things to other people. It's as much as we as humans are prone to judge them, it's really not our place. I just feel the need to share a lot of my experiences, and I hope that it helps people along the way. It doesn't matter how old you are. You could be realizing things at 80 years old, and it doesn't matter. But because God has been good and has allowed me to get this far after all of the drug abuse and mistakes that I've made, I feel very blessed to be here. I feel that it is my duty as a human being to share these things, to share what it was like, because not everybody's transgender. Now, what I've come to find are there are more people that are not transgender than are. And there's always those videos about transitioning and about hormones and what it's like to wear a binder and all those things. And it's great. Again, it's great that those things are out there, man. That's awesome. I just feel like there's also more to be said. And I guess I feel like I should be one of the people to do it because of the fact that that's not a part of my life. I quit binding. Most people see me, they probably think that I'm a lesbian. And that used to bother me. And it's not that I have anything against lesbians. I've dated many of them. Okay, not many, a few. It's not that I have any problems with lesbians. I don't have any problems with straight people. I don't have any problems with anybody. My problem, and why I got so offended years ago when people would call me a lesbian, is because the fact is I didn't identify as one. And I felt like these people were stripping me away of my identity. I had to come to terms with the fact that my life and my perspective is how I see it and how I see it only. I could have been born a cisgender guy and went about my life heterosexual, whatever, dated girls, I'm a boy, This is how it is. And as much as I used to think that my life would be perfect if that's the way it was, looking back now, it wouldn't have been perfect. There would have been problems, there would have been troubles along the way. Everybody has their troubles and obstacles in life. I mean, granted, being transgender is a pretty big one. I mean, it can be complete mental torture. People do take their lives over it. But I assure you, it is absolutely no reason to take your life, because you have every ability to make this life beautiful no matter who you are. And that's another reason I think sex changes are so awesome. Because if you feel like you really cannot exist in your body, then you have the option to change that. We're so lucky. That didn't exist a couple hundred years ago. At least not that I know of. If it did, please let me know. You know where to put those comments. You know where to put them. The biggest, most difficult things for me were the mind fucks. Pardon my potty mouth. It was feeling like I should have been the boy going to my high school dance, but I was wearing a dress. And that's why I'm so excited to see the youth out there now just being who they are. When I was in high school in the late 90s, early 2000s, at least in the Midwest, that would not have been okay. It would have been so not okay that the school might have actually stopped me, not just my peers. I never tried, and there was no one else who did. And of course I'd go back now. If I had a 20-year reunion, which is probably coming up soon. I graduated in 2002. Whenever it does come up, of course I'd go and wear a suit, or I'd go dressed the way I am. 2019, almost 2020, that was 2002. So, it's almost 20 years ago. A lot has progressed in that time. And I'm so thankful for everybody who has stood up and been themselves. And that's a huge part of it. Just by being yourself every day. I've made a video in the past about how to be an activist, and I say just be yourself. Exactly. When you go out in public and you present yourself the way you feel on the inside, that's a form of activism. Because you get enough people doing that, you're leading by example. Other people are going to think, oh, okay, so it's all right for me to go out dressed like that. That's okay. Other people are doing it, so it's okay. That's how human beings usually react to things. If other people are doing it, they feel more comfortable. So if you're feeling the guts to be who you are, then by golly, be who you are. It's not always easy, and not just for transgender people, but for everybody. Everybody has issues from time to time in their life with being their true self. And don't forget the umbrella terms. When I say that, don't forget the people in the gray areas. It's not just has to be a certain way. I can't emphasize this enough, because I've had so many people come to me and say, well, you're not transgender. And I'm like, excuse me? And they tell me, oh, well, you haven't had a sex change, so you're not transgender. Like, are you? Hello? It's to do some research. And it's not only is it rude, but it's just totally, it's beyond rude. That's like me going up to, like the person who said it to me, I'm pretty sure she identified as lesbian. It's the same as going up to her and saying, you're not a lesbian. I don't see you holding a girl's hand right now. You're not a lesbian. It's just ignorant. Don't even listen to those people, because anyone who tries to tell you who you are or who you're not, they're not worth your time. Trust me. I can't thank you all enough. I really appreciate you watching these videos. I'm going to keep making them. I really love making the videos. I love talking to you guys and gals and everybody in between. It's awesome. So let's keep doing it. Love and light to you all.